So, hello, the beautiful
Hi, how are
Hannah
you?
Waddingham. Such a pleasure to chat with you
Likewise.
today. First and foremost, I have to ask you, Hannah, what inspired this variety special for you? Like, especially following all of the success that Ted Lasso willed
Yes,
in.
yes.
Where did the idea for this special programming come from?
Do you know what? Myself and my manager, Nick Tedisco, it started with us. Um, and I always want to shout him out because he was the one that encouraged me and said, no, you can do this and there will be an audience for it. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. No, there won't. And he pushed me. So I have him to thank for that till the end of time. Um, it was just something about the fact that, I'd grown up very much at the London Coliseum and grown up in that auditorium. I know every inch of the building from running around it since I was 8. And the serendipitous timing of my daughter being 8 at the same time, you couldn't have made it up. So, of course, I had my daughter there in the same box as I was in, and my mum there, who is significantly, bless her, more ill since then. So it was a real capsule moment. And I wanted it to be something that was a massive nod to my theatrical roots. So we knew that going into it. And then the ebb and flow of the arc of the guests in it kind of presented itself to us.
Okay,
And I wanted to make sure it wasn't starry for starry's sake.
I like that.
You know,
Yeah.
I wanted it to be people that mean something to me, that move me, that have been along with me for the ride in the form of the Fabulous Lounge Swingers, not known, you know, as much as anybody else. But it was important for me to have them in it because I want to keep the door open for others as people have left it open for me. So all of those things were at play, and thankfully, Apple and Done and Dusted were basically like, go and run with it, and then we can we can pull you back.
Yeah, and you actually answered like two of my questions. I was interested to hear about the overall collaboration with Apple and what
Yes.
that journey looked like
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
In addition to your guest features,
Yeah.
from Sam Ryder
Yeah.
to Luke Evans, the gay
Yeah.
male
Yeah. Yeah.
chorus, so the list goes on.
Yeah.
And particularly Leslie Odom Jr., because if I'm not mistaken, there was a special little someone who had a little something to say about
Yes.
that. So talk to
She
me about
did.
your baby girl and what was it about Leslie Odom Jr. that she's like, "Mommy, he's the
It's got to
one.
be
He has
him.
to be a
Yeah,
part of
it had to be
this."
him. Yeah, I mean, I said to her, "Who would you want?" And before I'd finished my sentence, this is no word of a lie. She went, "Leslie Odom Jr., Mummy."
Wow.
And I knew the original cast of Hamilton. I didn't know him by name. I
Mm,
knew that he'd been Aaron
okay.
Burr. And as soon as she said Aaron Burr, I was like, whoa, I don't know about that. And actually, my manager, Nick, had already said about Leslie. So it was weird that his name had come round again.
Yeah.
And then I went away and listened to his stuff other than Hamilton. And I just thought, this guy is, he has to be a global superstar
Yeah.
because he has everything going for him. His voice is absolutely ridiculous. You could listen to one note of his voice and know that you were in for an absolute dream.
And I think that's the perfect segue into my next question when it comes to his voice.
Mm.
And your voice meshes so very well together.
Yeah, they
When it
did.
comes to the song selection
Yeah.
per each,
Yeah.
different
Yes.
performance that you put on,
Yeah.
what was the determining factor as to whether or not I should sing this particular number with this person? This is the song that Leslie and I should do
Yeah.
together because our voices and our vocals are going to just do a
Well, a lot
thing.
of it was, a lot of it kind of presents itself. I'm very kind of instinctive about the vibe of somebody, and I'll know where their voice sits, and so where mine would. And it's that thing of, a lot of people were like, "Oh, no, no, but you need to be singing the lead vocal all the time." I don't believe in that. I believe it has to be a melding of the two where you can't tell where one ends and the other begins, and it has to be like a little dance through the song. So if you listen to the tracks, there's never a time when, because it's my show, I'm always singing the lead and people are twiddling around.
Not at
I would
all.
rather they did and I compliment them, and it's that thing of bringing stuff out in each other. So that was very much the case with Leslie. And he had sung that song before, and I had listened to it and was just kind of noodling around him. And then with Sam, I just thought, in terms of the tone of the whole piece, we've just come out of Oh Holy Night, which had to be in because it meant so much to me. And people in Christmas specials don't often do an old school classic song that could be in a church. And that's where my operatic part from my mum came in. So we knew that that had to be the heart of the show. Coming out of that, you have to find something that will take the audience. I'm all about the temperature of the audience. So if you've taken them to a place where they are feeling vulnerable, sad about a loss, joyful about something at the same time, but in that kind of internal way, bring someone on who gives them a great big boost, and that had to be Sam Ryder. And he isn't as known here, but I was adamant to have him. I would have literally given back my fee to have that man because he has got unbelievable chops and he is sunshine personified.
I want to pivot back, Hannah, back to you taking the audience someplace.
Yeah.
Because not only did you take your audience someplace, you also took your mother, your daughter, particularly your father, to a certain place. Because I believe at the end of number 3, that Melanie, you brought tears to his eyes. So I want to hear about that moment, having not only your mother there, your father, your 8-year-old daughter present. Like, what type of moments were those for you? They had to be absolutely indescribable.
They were.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, they were harder than I had even thought. I don't know how I sang it, if I'm perfectly honest, because bear in mind, there's no fakery in any single note of anybody's in the whole thing. I knew that I had to dig deep. I don't think I've ever sung. I can see it in my face. It's the one number that I can just see myself working very hard to not get emotional. I can see that I am really working my diaphragm for that song because I could see my dad wiping his eyes. And Oh Holy Night had to be in there because, and the fact that I'm standing there with a mic stand and nothing else. I'm not kind of rocking out to anything. There's no one else. And the English National Opera Chorus have been like aunties and uncles to me all my life. So to have them, it was like they were literally holding me tight. Because I think some of the women, particularly to my right, on stage right, they could feel how much it meant to me. So that moment had to be in, and I'm just glad that I didn't screw it up because I think my dad knew that that was the culmination of 30 years watching my mum.
And I love that. You being able to keep it together. I want to go to, listen, so many emotional moments in such a whimsical, glamorous special, right? I want to talk about your daughter for a brief second because your little princess, she appeared in 2 different scenes really quick. But we only got a glimpse of the back of her. Talk to me about your intentionality and how strategic you were in not revealing her face. Was that and is that your way of protecting her from Hollywood? It was so sacred. And I too am a mother, so I just felt like I'm like, he's 21.
What? You've got a 20? No, that's just annoying.
He's 21.
Oh my God, 21 and not a line on your face.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Not revealing her face.
Yeah, I never do. Thank you for noticing that.
Absolutely.
And it's something that I really dug in about in the making of it as well. Because there was a time when she was going to be in it more and stuff, and I thought, you know what? I have kept her face out. I think there's one picture ever of her which I wasn't pleased about years ago. And they told me that wouldn't happen. So I've been adamant about it ever since. She would love it. I mean, she would have liked to have been on that stage, dressed probably as some fabulous God knows what.
Because, Hannah, she's also like blazing the same theatrical trails as not only yourself, but your mother. So where is she in that scheme of things when it comes to the theatrics?
I mean, it's in the bones and in the bloodstream,
I love it.
for sure. Yeah. Sometimes I hear her upstairs and she'll come out with this ridiculous soprano note, and I just think, the force is strong with you, my girl.
Does she have any of the steps and the moves?
Oh my God, all of it, just ridiculously so and effortlessly so. So I just think, you know what? For now, even though she doesn't want it that way, I'm like, my love, you have plenty of time. You are just about to turn 10. This is sacred time for you to play and not be seen and you can live it through me, and then you take over and you take that sparkly baton and you run on yourself, should you want to.
I love that. So, of course, before we wrap, I have to talk about the fashion. I need to know, what is James doing with you, honey? Because you
Don't
literally,
tell him that.
listen, you are
Did
one
he
of
pay you?
Hollywood's very best dressed women. No lie. What is going on there? Like, which was your favorite number to wear?
Oh,
Did
I
you
don't
bring
have
my
one.
gold dress?
I don't.
Like, why did you get in the hot tub with the red dress on?
I mean,
Talk to
right.
me.
Can I just point out
Please
that
do.
that red dress moment, I did think that James was going to have some kind of seizure, because I was just like, wouldn't it be great if I got into the hot tub with Brett? And he laughed and was like, no, 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 it's velvet. You can't do that. And I was just like, but we've already shot the show. Wouldn't it be great? And honestly, those moments, I was saying to him on the way here, that moment is like the kind of cardboard bag moment on the red carpet as well. Those moments when he and I kind of go at it a bit in a playful way, they're the moments you remember.
I love that. And before I let you go, did James collaborate with Susan, who I believe is your designer in Britain, when it comes to designing your corset? Suzanne. When it comes to designing your corset.
Well, he and I actually, we wanted to have something. I started off by saying, even if it's a Christmas special, I want it to be timeless. And I also want it to be something that if people are needing a hug, they can turn it on in June. You know, I didn't want to be like fully adorned, ridiculous. I just wanted to be a simple silhouette. And so that's where the gold came from. And there is no one that makes a corset like Suzanne Neville. I mean, honestly, she would mold your body. She barely even looks. She does it all by touch. And she's good with a juicier woman. She's good with us juicy birds, you know? She likes to get in and under and, you know, and I can sing in all of them as well. So she did both my gold and my white. I mean, just the stuff of dreams. Ridiculously so. I was so lucky.
Well, kudos to you, James and Suzanne.
Thank you.
And I promise you I'm going to let you go. How optimistic are you for Emmy nominations for this variety special?
Do you know what? I genuinely, and I can say this and mean it, I genuinely don't think of it like that. I want people to love it forever. That's what we did it for. And I went into it in more detail than I've ever gone into anything, because I wanted it to be a Christmas, just a squeeze of love from me always to anyone and everyone who watches it. You know, it's not about, I mean, anything like that would be lovely. It's all recognition and a pat on the back that you're doing something great. But I will have it always, you know?
And thank you so much for gifting the world with it.
Thank you,
Love
darling.
you so
Thank you
much,
so
Hannah.
much.
Thank you for
And
chatting
we
with
need
me
to still
today.
discuss your earrings.
We will, trust me.